This video is provided by the College of Graduate Studies at UCF. In this video, I will review the requirements for using appendices and demonstrate how to apply the appropriate formatting changes. Each appendix must have its own buffer page, with the appendix name and title capitalized and centered at the top margin. Appendix text should begin on the page after the appendix buffer page. If applicable, the IRB approval letter must be scanned and included in an appendix. Copyright permission letters must also be included in an appendix. Appendices must have both a name and descriptive title, and must be lettered alphabetically if more than one appendix is used. Within the Word document, you will want to turn on the Show Hide All Formatting button to show any pre-existing formatting. In this document, I will create an appendix for my approval letter. First, I'll scroll down to the end of my body text and use a page break so that my appendix starts on the next page. On this page, I'm going to type the name of the appendix and a descriptive title of the content. Because I only need one appendix, I'll title it Appendix Approval Letter. If I later need multiple appendices, I will retitle this as Appendix A. You can also use the Shift+Enter combination for a soft return to separate the title into two lines. If you simply press Enter once to separate the title, Word will read this as a hard return and tag this header as two separate headers, which will create two separate entries in the table of contents. I will now apply the Heading 1 style to my appendix title to ensure that it is appropriately formatted and that it receives a table of contents entry and a PDF bookmark. Next, press Enter twice and insert a page break. This creates the buffer page, separating the content of the document from the content of my appendix. This page is known as the Appendix Buffer or title page. It separates the appendix title from the appendix material. On the next page, I'll paste the image of my letter. I'll use the Insert tab from the ribbon to insert a photo. The Thesis and Dissertation Manual has a list of file types that are acceptable for the ETD. When you paste or insert an image of a scanned document, you'll need to be sure that it does not exceed the margins of your document. Images that exceed the margins may cover the page number, making the page appear to be unnumbered. In this case, you will need to resize the image. The Picture toolbar also has a sizing section, which can be used to set the dimensions of the image. You may need to change the page orientation to landscape or create a custom page size in the PDF document if you cannot resize the image within the margins of the document. You will also want to use the Styles window to check that the image has not received a style. If you do not use a page break to separate the buffer page of the appendix title from the image, it may retain the Heading 1 style from the appendix title. This will insert the image into your table of contents. An easy way to prevent this is to click the image and apply the normal style. If your appendix material contains writing samples or other documents with handwritten text, make sure that the writing is clear and legible. You may need to create a higher resolution image if necessary. This concludes the video tutorial for appendices. If you have any further questions, please use the ETD Help Request form available through the Thesis and Dissertation Services website. The next video in this series will cover the use of references.